So do you think that Marcus Mariota could be a starter in the NFL again, or is he an eventual backup role now?
Oh, I don't that's a tough question because he was so up and down. He reminds me of Cordell Stewart.
Yeah,
And so, like, one year, Cordell Stewart would look like a starting quarterback. The next year, he would look like he didn't belong in the league.
he was playing like wide receiver.
And right. Except, yeah, that was the case, though, except Cordell Stewart could play wide receiver or running back and did. He was the original. Well, yeah, he was kind of the original Swiss Army knife for offensive players.
Yeah.
And that's who he kind of reminds me of. I don't know because you don't know what you're going to get year to year or game to game with him. So I would say he's probably at the stage in his career, and it's not that his career's that long. He's only been in the league like what 6 years,
Sounds right.
and he's he's probably going to be that backup guy that's going to make a living, and he'll probably play in the league for 17 years as a backup quarterback because apparently he's a really good locker room guy, and you can make a long career as a backup quarterback off just by being that type of guy.
Right. So like let's say in theory he does go to the Packers. Obviously there's a lot of scenarios that have to happen for that to happen. But let's say he does go to Green Bay and becomes that backup role quarterback. If if Jordan Love ever starts to struggle, do we start hearing rumblings of put Marcus in, or do you think the Packers are sold on Jordan Love for the long haul?
Oof. You're always going to hear the rumblings no matter. Anytime the quarterback struggles, you're going to hear the rumblings, and whether it's team driven or it's more media driven, there's a $1 million question in itself. The fans are always going to be like, "Oh, we're struggling." Like he had two bad games in a row. Get rid of him, cut him, bench him. He's awful. Put Mariota in. Like that's just a fan perspective, and it is what we do because that's why we're fans and not the coach or the GM of a team.
Right.
So. Um, I don't think so. A lot of times if you are truly going to make that guy your guy, you are going to give him a full season to say, you know what? Show us what you got at that point. It's because a decision will eventually have to be made of can my franchise move forward with this guy or do we need to get somebody else? So that was and even back to when there was the transition from Favre to Rodgers. The big thing was Aaron was in the last year of his rookie deal and they needed to know what they had to be like, do we need to draft another guy or do we need to sign this guy long term? It's a lot of that because missing on a first round quarterback sets your franchise. It can set your franchise back 10 years
Yeah.
because if you're looking at a guy that was going to play with any kind of longevity, you just wasted 3 years and now you're looking for another guy, and it might take you that long to find that franchise quarterback. So I'm going to err on the side of everything else in this country or everything else in history of the NFL and say Jordan Love will not be a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.